is not permitted in FPOs. So there should be some onboarding financing partners who can address the capital issues. So potential alternative financing structures such as guarantee funds, residual-based finance, insurance structure to facilitate the capital infusion into the FPOs, which need to be explored. Diagnostic and credit rating mechanism, which is highly required, as everybody knows that in different financial institutions, they have a credit rating agencies like CRISIL, FinTech. So lack of the information about the credit worthiness attributes to the poor credit inflow into the FPOs. So formal financial institutions are ready to lend the FPOs because of the inadequate collateral. So FPO diagnostic and credit rating mechanism can encourage different financiers to unlock the credit flow. So it will also help the FPOs to strategize to improve their operation in future. So there should be an apex body for the FPO, a self-regulatory body designed to protect the interest of the FPO's farmers member is needed. So this apex body who would be responsible for policy
गर्दन गर्दै
advocacy
क्या है
on
यार
issues
क्या
affecting
बात रहा
FPOs,
है
establishing the standards for strengthening the governance, accreditations for rating tools and service providers. For example, like this kind of rating ethics body has been come up in this microfinance institution, which was totally unorganized, but MFIN has come up from this microfinance institution to make it into a structure sector. So treating this FPO as a startup, so the major thing is that to get benefit from the tax exemptions for initial 3 years and to get benefit from the tax exemption who is going to invest in it. So FPO should treat as an agri startup. So tackling the market access barrier and cost due to this agricultural produce and livestock marketing committee. So the major problem over here in FPOs is that those FPOs, those who are registered under cooperative, they are only allowed to get to get the permission, or they are allowed to get enter into this APMC and APML. So there should be some kind of relaxation for these other FPOs who can able to do the marketing with this particular year. So the impact of the COVID-19 on business operation of FPOs. So the impact has been done on a lot many business operation of FPOs. So there are three, we have identified three areas. So their impact is very immediate and very intense. So those FPOs, those who are in export, those who are in distance market or in global market, there is the impact is very immediate and it's highly. And those who are also in poultry industries, the impact is very immediate and intense because there is a myth is there that people, those who will be consuming this poultry and all, so they may suffer from the COVID-19. So horticultural produce is also one major area where those who have engaged themselves in horticultural produce, due to this lockdown period, the people, they are not getting manpower to do any kind of post-harvest activities and the logistic has been totally shut down. So that's the bigger problem for the horticultural produce. Delay but highly vulnerable. So delay in terms of procurement, like the rabi crops are standing in the field, there is no manpower to harvest it, and the procurement is also delay. Even also in this market, the trader and this, they are not getting liquid funds to rotate the fund, and there is a sudden rush of commodity to the market. So lot many competitions are from the unorganized sectors, also from different big traders. So that's a very delay, but it will be highly vulnerable. So difficulties on this horizon. So it's just it will not impact just immediately, but it will be highly vulnerable. For example, mango. So now the harvesting period has already reached, but due to this lockdown, with the people they are not getting manpower, so which will hamper the sales if it is not addressed immediately. So another problem is about maize. So due to the disturbance of this poultry industries and processing industries for the labor scarcity, maize demand has also go down. So in our state like Nabrangpur, where the farmers, they are ready to sell out their product to lot many big traders earlier, and now they have come up with FPOs, but they are not in a stage to sell to this. They are not in a stage. That's why they're still selling their produce in the local market and to different exploitative traders. So the reason behind is that here we do not, those FPOs, those who have a tie up with different feed processing industry, they are not ready to get the maize from them, because the situation of the poultry industries is not at all correct. So maize is anyway related to this poultry fishing feed industries. So that's like this impact will not immediately, but it's a very highly and vulnerable impact later on. So reason contributing to this business impact is that the market demand has already reduced because there is a few buyer and lesser demand in the market due to the lockdown and shutdown. Completely depending on the private traders, that's a real fact. No actual trading during lockdown. Shortage of finance because timely availability of the finance for the agriculture activities is a major challenges right now. Traders are also not get unable to avail the credit facilities for their purchase from the market, which significantly hampers the FPO sale. And one thing is that the logistic breakdown. So breakdown of the logistic and transportation of commodities to the market and client. So these are the basic reasons which is contributing to the business impact. Then how this FPO has response to this COVID-19. So few of the FPOs they have facilitated the role of agricultural operations. So though they are not at this time, they are not in this agri input marketing. Few of them they are priority as an agri input marketing, but in this stage they are in the marketing of the produce to the member. But how far this is an example of Sai Prava Satyakar producer of Ahmednagar, Maharashtra, who has involved themselves in input provision to the member at 20 to 25% lesser than the market price. So that's a very good intervention by the FPO to get immediately all the agri inputs support to the farmer. Then post harvest operation. So during this time where surplus produce is available in the field, supply chain is also disrupted. So the FPOs are also adding some value to the product that could be sold in future when there will be a normalcy will return. Then providing credible informations to the FPO. This is one most important like criteria. So as this FPO, they should have a credible information about the market. So awareness creation. So the majority of the FPOs are involved in creating the awareness among the members about social distancing. Other hygienic measures should be taken during agronomic operation, harvesting, packaging, marketing of the produce. So Krishi Jivika, a producer companies of Odisha state, has appointed an agri entrepreneurship mentor for creating an awareness about the business activities by the farmers. Group limiting to the social distancing is a bigger role. So although here its economic sustainability is important, but social sustainability as an health indicator is equally pivotal as wealth creation. Now, support to the marketing. State government are promoting direct marketing by the FPOs as the best mechanism to aggregate the produce of large number of the farmers and to sell it collectively in urban centers. The members are to advise not to go for the distress selling and assure them the buying support immediately. Our Odisha state has launches immediately and website for the vegetables and fruit farmers to sell their produce, that is www.odhortimarketing.nic.in, here to facilitate easily and timely marketing of agricultural produce. So the district level officer of horticulture department will provide the data of the sellable products of their district. So the interested trader can contact the farmer. Already 1500 farmers are there in this available website. So what we do, suppose in this website, once we go and according to the requirement, once you click what exactly require, whether you require fruits or waste, any kinds of thing, then there will be details about in which district all these products are available and with whom this product is available. So this is a very good innovative which has been done during this COVID-19 by our state government of Odisha. So the challenges faced by the FPOs, the majority of the problem related to the transport of the produce from the FPOs premises to the urban area. So many transporters they hesitate in terms like because there is a lot many harassment by the administration, by the police, and some are ready to go, but they are charging two-way fare, which will increase the cost of operations. Even also in the Gram Panchayat, it has been restricted in the mobility of the inside through the village. So that's a major problem for this FPOs. Another important problem is the labor availability because of the lockdown and shutdown restriction of the workers left their workplace. They have gone to their home and they're living. Few of them are living in temporary accommodations arranged by the government. So unavailability of labor is also affecting the harvesting, post-harvest activities. So harvesting, packaging, and grading operations. So those FPO, those who are engaged also in value addition, they're also getting lot many difficulties because lot of the like shortage of the workforces, reduce of the capacity, non-availability of the input like cardboard, bags, and other for packaging and other things. So which affect the FPO's operations. So anyway, those FPOs, those who are in export, they contribute significant directly to the revenue of many FPOs. So lockdown has also forced them to stop the export. So many FPOs, those who doesn't have an alternative strategies, incurred a huge losses. So some of the members of FPOs in Kandhamal district of Odisha had cultivated their turmeric for the export purpose with more cost of cultivation are compliance and are forced to sell their local markets with a low rate. Because this FPO, they do not have any other places to sell, as Kandhamal is famous for organic turmeric, so they do not have any other places to source, so they're selling in the local market with a lower rate of interest. Then the fragmentary approach of this few FPOs may not cater to the need of the urban population. So government has to take some decision during this. If they're going to extend the lockdown period, they should bring all the FPOs to provide a regular supply of the fruits and vegetables to the city. So most of the another another major problem is about the nascent stage. So maximum FPOs they are in nascent states. So they have limited infrastructure like fake house, inadequate of sanitary measures, lack of storage facilities, cold chain, which avoid the losses. But they face the problem more of more processor and permission during a process and permission to work during the crisis. So many were not prepared to deal with such situation and lack of the consumer database, online booking capabilities, website and mobile apps to tap the demand to participate in the supply chain. So this is the major problem that maximum of the FPO they are in a nascent stage. They doesn't have any consumer database. They do not have any application apps in their mobile or they did not develop anything. So it requires some time to bring them and the hand-holding support is also required to them. Along with this administrative and economic system problem, FPOs had also faced some social problem. In some instance, like the trucker who went to deliver the vegetables and fruit to district's main market, were not allowed to stay in the village. And once they return, because the villagers they feared whether they might the truck driver might carrying the virus. So this is a major problem among the social problem. The NPOs are also facing challenges of managing the crowd during delivering and sales of the produce. So these are the strategies to overcome the present situation. So restricted the time for the Monday, use of e-nam, encouraging hazing has a future, publish of e-negotiable warehouse system, alternative market link is supported by the FPOs and avoid distress sale. So restricted the time for Mondays, the government can allow the Monday to operate amid the lockdown. So it has already allowed. So through though with a restricted timing. So which with this restricted time, this can also avoid over crowding and the Mondays. And Monday do have the phone numbers of the farmers and they can inform through the SMS. While a long list of essential services is excluded from this lockdown, so government has to also look in the rural areas because proper time of procurement of rice and dal is ensured for a smooth functioning of this agri value chain. So which ensures that rice and dal mills will not have a deficient of the raw material. So which will hit the supplies for the consumers. One another program which has been come up with is a flagship program of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that electronic national agriculture market. While so far only the traders could buy from this platform from home, so it should now let the POs and farmers to sell the from the farm gate. Uploading the pictures of this commodity should facilitate on the ENA map so that the farmer can do this from their field home for buyer to know the quality of the grains pulses. Once the deal is signed and trader can be encouraged to make a part payment to the farmer, he can take the delivery when the regular transport system starts functioning and state board are open. So encouraging hazing. So this is one of the best way where the FPOs they can reduce the risks of the or they can reduce the risks and losses of the drop in the price whatever the commodities they have. So now it's like they have an options if they are being in this NCDX they can go for the hedging and they can also there is an also an option of contract options contract. So these are the similar things little bit similar to each other. Then publish of e-negotiable warehouse receipt. So over the last 1 year, the warehousing development and the regulatory authority has brought several primary agriculture cooperatives, state and central private warehousing across this country under this fold. Some of them are closer to the village and can ensure the farmer need not to spend lot to get the produce to the warehouse. So being registered under this WDRA, this warehouse can issue an electronic negotiable warehouse receipt. So by placing this WDRA accredited warehouse, farmers will get a negotiable warehouse receipt which can easily place for the loan, unlike the physical warehouse receipt. In the case of this e-negotiable warehouse receipt, it is possible to break off and devil the finance for one portion of the stock. And further, the farmer can also get this better price of his produce when it is sold finally in the as the stock stored in the WRTA has been sorted and graded. So by this, the farmer can avoid the distress sale also, and the farmer can able to get the right price for its product. Okay, so this is an alternative market linkage supported by the FPO. So this is a recent come up that like collective marketing, as 60% of the farmers here, as we say that they are
you to reach out to every fruits and vegetable and harvest growers farmer to estimate the total agri
to estimate the total agricultural production to encourage and facilitate the farmers to organize into small groups finally to match the group's requirement with our vehicles, suitable vehicles enable the transport and the produce to the designated market. So this is how if some of the FPOs they would take some initiative with other small farmers, then it would be a better like market linkage for other farmers, those who are selling their produce at a distress and those who are dumping their produce also. So local market at this cost, local market is about like though they cannot able to sell their produce under APMC, so they are finding out a local market. Now the government is also supporting them to make a stall so that they will aware about the product, what products produce have been sold. So through announcement, the government could come up with them that okay, such kind of stalls are being opening in such area, so that the urban people or those who are not in this particular agricultural activities, they can go and purchase from this particular stalls. So one concept is about farm to home model. So this is what like recently many of these FPOs they are doing this thing. So they are restricting due to this restriction movement of the vehicles, partially functioning of the wholesale market, sudden scarcity of this middleman trader. So this allow them to come up with a new model that those consumer, those who are in the urban areas, those who are in this like those who are not in agriculture, they can go for different online orders to different FPOs. So few of the FPOs they're also getting the order from the online, or they are making their vehicles to move to different apartments and all. So from that, whatever the places has been ordered earlier day, they take it and they give for this next day, next they give it to the next day. So in this way what happened, this will like consume very less time, and according to the requirement of the urban people, it also fulfill the urban people's requirement. One model I just want to make it to be like this has been highlighted by one of our NGO over in Bhubaneswar. So they are saying that one family one farmers. So this is what they are saying, that if one family is going to adopt one farmers, then there will be restrictions in terms of like the farmer would be getting few like initial financial support from this from the like family, and the family will be for a long run they will be getting the all vegetables and fruit from that particular farmers. So that family will be eating a healthy fruits and vegetables without having some additional of chemicals. So in this way this is a win-win situation among the producer and among the consumer. So this is one model which is going to be developed with one of our NGOs. So they are working on this one family, one farmer. So adopting one family with one farmer. Okay. So this is a policy suggestions and the way forward. So now in terms of this policy suggestion, we have raised some of the points like different agri input companies, big agri input companies, they are now asking for the dealers. So if the government would encourage some kind of policies that the dealer of all agri input companies, or few of the FPOs, they can be a dealer of this agri input company, then it would be a very favorable situation, which will bring more agri entrepreneurs also, and here the prices of the input in the time would not be happened. So like capacity building training program could be organized by different corporates, so it could be amended by different corporates for the FPOs. As this FPO, they are in a nascent stage, so few of the FPOs, they require some kind of hand-holding support in terms to get an aware about the market, and like few of these FPOs, they require the hand-holding support, how to manage the inputs in right time and right place, availability of the agricultural implements. This is what required, and some innovative models using the ICT platform like artificial intelligence and machine learning should be used to gather the inputs about the demand. So this will help this farmer for the technology is this will reduce. Hello, this will reduce the if this kind of technological support will be given to the this farmer, then distress selling will be reduced. So increase as the risks with this atmosphere with lending delayed and the rejection of the loan application and credit support to the FPO. This is a major challenge with every FPO. In this situation, there could be one of the suggestion, like if the formal financial institutions like banks, they are not interested to give the credit to this FPO, there should be some non-banking financial companies or MFIs or non-banking financial companies, they could able to provide the credit lines to different FPOs. So it will be a better, like it's a good example, Community Agri Finance, who is supporting all these FPOs in terms like this, providing loans to them. So facilitating the linkage of the corporate with the FPOs, which can bring a win-win situation among all the stakeholders during such soft period. So there should be a linkage between the corporate and FPOs, because FPO cannot do by alone anything else, and corporate has to give a handholding support to the FPO, so they will have a like win-win situation in this particular. So the SHGs and FPOs started collaborating with the district administration to bridge the gap between the producer and the city consumer. Through this, the FPOs can avoid the storage and handholding capacity cost of this perishable produce and remunerative cost of the production on the consumer share by maintaining social distance and other health requirements. So developing of this e-market is also essential, which could able to connect like different processor, traders, consumer with FPOs to reduce the gap between the farm and fork model. So now lot many like here initiative has been taken. One of a startup like Kalinga Face. So this is what they have started, that they are being only trying to have some adopt some apps. So through that app they connect with different farmers, and the farmers as per the requirement, the farmers they go to the farmer places, and sorry, the apps is been used by the consumer. So as per the demand, the consumer give the requirement on these apps, and next day whatever the requirement the consumer has given, that has been reaching to the doorstep. So this is a very good initiative. If some of the startup company would also concentrate in this thing, so the FPO would be getting a lot many benefits. Then diversifying the activities of the FPO would help them to bounce back in this crisis, like increasing resilience. So rather than total depending on one kind of activities, it is always suggested that if an FPO has been in a single activities, then it could not able to handle this kind of crisis. So it's always advisable to have some diversification of the activities. Will suppose for example like value addition, so direct marketing, like that. So online market platform like enam offers a great scope for the FPOs to trade their produce, so therefore more FPOs those should be registered on enam to harness the benefit of the online trading of, for their members. So during this crisis, the FPO need to be linked with the public distribution. This is one of the big solutions, that if it would be linked with the public distribution system, for the supply of the semi-perishable commodities like onion, garlic, potato, etc. to meet the need of the consumer depends on the PDS. So government can take some necessary step on this direction. So to bring the professionalism in FPO through capacity building of the members or board of directors in supply chain management and other procedural aspects related to be undertaken to face unforeseen disaster and crisis by the business model that FPOs can bring some performance at par with this private startup. This means in FPOs there should require some kind of more professionalism. As earlier we know that there is an industry of this microfinance. So this industry is not at all professionalism. But after this microfinance crisis in 2010, they find out that this industry requires some kind of professionalism. So professionalism could be maintained if these FPOs they are going to hire some BSc agriculture graduates or MSc agriculture graduates or MBA agribusiness or some MSW people, then they can come at par with different private sector startup. So their business model would be like best performing with as comparison to different private sector. So that would be best for these FPOs. So like I just want to highlight one thing in our college, we have a unique teaching methods which we have adopted, that living led concept. So where the students are encouraged to earn while learn, that means the students themselves they are doing some micro entrepreneurship model. So they are aware about the market situation. So as per this model, they are encouraging different farmers in an individual level or in a group level to develop various models, so which will be help this FPOs and the farmers during this kind of crisis. So this is a case study on the awareness about among the stakeholders of this FPO. So this is what I just want to highlight it. This is a case study of Krushi Jivika producer company of Nayagarh district of Odisha. So they have started to connect with this farmer producer to the market since its inspections. So these things they have significantly changes during this COVID-19, that they are doing from B2B and B2C. B2B means they are doing the business with the business to business and business to consumer. This is a basically a producer company on producing vegetables and pulses. So the four significant changes were mainly so market preference to our B2C in order to ads. So the consumer they are ordering through ads. So whatever their requirement, and even also recently, though they are not also entertaining to get the cash, they are asking the consumer to have the payment on online. So this is a good initiatives they have taken, and even also they are asking the marketing personnel to keep a to have a social distancing in the mind. So by using the face masks, gloves, package, and they are asking the customers were given a specific time period where they have to come and pick up their package. So this B2B market of the companies were also functioning well. So the company personnel were instructed everyone everyone packets was marked for deliver to avoid the rush over here when they are going for this B2B. And even so in the production center, they ask these members to come in a sequencing manner so that there would be rather than all of the members to not come at one time. So this is how they can able to maintain the social distancing. So these are the different kind of changes which they have bring during this COVID virus. So the conclusion is about the farmer producer organizations have the potential to give a better bargaining power to the farmers, leads to more transparent in agri marketing. Since most of the FPOs are still in the incubation stage, so they need some hand-holding support and financial support. So effort must be made to ease the market barriers in the growth path of these FPOs. Initiatives should be given to the institutional lenders, those who are lending to the FPOs, and give a room for the private equity to enter into these FPCs to help them from this transaction from a grant-based model to a self-sustainable business entity. So several state government are making efforts to upscale these FPOs to strengthen the business approach in agriculture. So we hope that these small beginnings will gain the strength in the coming days to enable this farm FPOs and can restore their supply chain and ensure a livelihood security for all the smallholders. So this collective could be tied on this lockdown. So the founder of MS Swaminathan, the professor MS Swaminathan, who consistently maintained that there is a need for the farmers to get together and to work collectively in whatever institutional form it may be, whether it is in form of cooperative or farmers company. In order to realize the benefit of the scales, farmer organizations are the key, whether for community harvesting, storage, marketing, and processing. So this impact of this COVID-19 is likely to prevail for some more time. So therefore, bringing and remaining FPOs on board to consortium is extremely important to bring the supply chain normal. So proper infrastructure at these FPO is the need of the hour, which will help them to export their produce to meet the demand in different markets. So during this kind of present crisis, the need for infrastructure like tech house, cold storage, etc., are being felt by many of these FPOs. So therefore, more funds can allocated to these FPOs to establish a basic market infrastructure in future. So different donor organizations, NGOs, trust can support the performing of FPOs to overcome such bottlenecks during this crisis. So this is up to. Thank you everyone for a patientful hearing. Hello.
Yes, participants. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the comprehensive discussion about the whole FPO setup during COVID. Now we'll be taking questions from the participants, and we'll be reading
Yes.
out the questions that they have submitted on the chat box, and
Yes.
and you can answer accordingly. We'll be taking the
Yes.
session for
Sure.
21 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, the
Yes.
remaining time.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Thank
The
you.
participants, one question which arises by Pratap. They are actually the agri-export company. They are telling how we can connect, how we can collaborate with farmer producer organizations in order to overcome this COVID-19.
Hello.
Dr. Sarita, can you,
No, actually not clear.
Mahesh, you can repeat the question, please. Dr. Mahesh or Akshay, you can repeat the question, please.
Hello, ma'am. The question is from
Hello.
Agri Export Company, and they are
Okay.
asking about how they can connect to an FPOs during this
Okay.
time.
So actually the question is from an agri export company. So what exactly they are exporting?
Ma'am, they haven't mentioned specifically any such what they have mentioned. The question is
Because
from
as I have
startup.
mentioned to you, that, yes, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, as I have mentioned to you that now as this FPOs they are in a nascent stage. So few of these FPOs, those who are in export, like for example mangoes and so recently here also the government though it has announced like fish is a major part. As the government has announced there should be more 500 fishery farmer producer organizations should be come up with this with the recent budget. So there is an opportunity for fish also. And my question is that as an export company, what exactly they are exporting? Hello,
Hello. Yeah,
hello.
Pratap.
Hear me well? Hello?
Mentioned they have mentioned that spices, pulses and spices.
Pulses and spices. It's about if you want to have some
Hello.
tie-up, I can. Hello.
Yeah. Madam, you please continue the answering the question.
Okay, my answer is to that. Though we have to find out that what exactly they have. Suppose there is a directories of exports which is available with different NAFED and all. So if anybody who is interested, or if anybody who is interested to sell their produce to different places, suppose they are in this pulses, as I heard from them, they are in pulses and spices. So as per this, where they have to find out the demand. So this could be a find out from this APEDA also, so Agriculture Produce Export Development Authority of India. So they will be highlighting that which all these organization where they can able to export their produce. So this is a best platform if they are in agricultural like produce to export. So this is a best platform to make them ensure that where they can able to export their product, or where they can able to connect. Hello.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Madam. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
I am speaking from Orissa Project and Marketing Development Center, based at Kotak. Actually, SFSC is another nodal agency which is providing
Exactly. Exactly.
so far as state of Odisha is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no convergence of a scheme from SFSC. There is no awareness.
Yes.
There is no.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I am the consultant. Because, I am the consultant of SFSC. Only 3 projects, 3 entrepreneurs have taken the BCA. So it is right time to go for convergence of the schemes and provide the for the entrepreneurs, because bankers are not understanding the different schemes supported by SFSC.
I understood. That's what I have said. No, the formal financial institutions, they are not in a mood to give them loan. So that's what, if there should be some kind of non-banking financial companies or MBFC or microfinance institution, they can have their handholding support to this FPO. So that's the best alternate platform. Like communities. Yes.
Yes, please tell. So another suggestion to you, or a submission also. So with the collaboration of
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me, madam?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Good morning, madam. Yeah, good morning, madam. Myself, I am Pratap, Fruit and Food Product, Chennai. I am the one who asked for the agri export question. Okay. So here in we are in Chennai and in Tamil Nadu, we have close to 156 FPOs. Even though we are in Tamil Nadu, we depend more on North Indian market. More we procure more from Gujarat, Ahmedabad, and
so what exactly you are procuring from? What you are procuring, sir? What you are procuring from the North India?
We procure coriander. We procure coriander in a larger scale, fenugreek and fennel seeds. So this is our major procurement. And here, what did happen is most of the time we can't able to reach the farmer, because our procurement is in a very large scale. Start from 5 tons close to 30 tons. With respect to the North Indian market, that is when compared from here, it is tough for us to reach the FPOs. So if there is an FPO directory or something like that, then it will be very easy for us. Like
exactly. Recently, actually, this Niyam Jaipur, they have come up with a directory, those FPOs, those who are in the Northeast. Because as we say, no, this FPOs is in a nascent state. So they have developed one directory which is in Northeast, the FPOs, those who are in the Northeast. So they have a directory with them. So we are in a process of coming up with this directory from the East India. So those FPOs, those who will be in the Eastern India, so that kind of those FPO who are operating in Eastern India will have that kind of directory, so that if such kind of intervention should be taken by different institute, then we can have a cumulative of all the information of all FPOs throughout the India. So that's also a suggestion from my side also because because I'm also in the like initial stage of working with the FPO, but in Odisha it's as comparison to Chennai and all, we are in a totally nascent stage. So we are also trying to work out on this particular state. So the FPOs, those who are already working over here, we are preparing the directories of that FPOs.
Hello.
That
That will be
hello.
great, madam. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I have a question, please?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
This question on the chat box. And this is Dr. Krishnan from Chennai. Can you please look at the my question in the chat box, please? About 500 fisheries FPOs to be established.
Yes. Where is just a minute?
Please read your question
On the
again.
chat box.
Sure.
Because bandwidth is so low.
Trial.
Can you explain a little more about the 500
Just a
fisheries?
Just a minute, sir. Let me just read out your questions because I'm. Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, could you just repeat your questions, please? Hello. So because I'm not fine.
Could you explain how exactly
Yes.
we are supposed to establish the
Trial.
500 fisheries FPOs?
500. Yeah, fishery farmers producer organization. Yes.
Yes, that is supposed to be done for when doubling the fisher's income. But
Exactly.
yeah. So actually, we are. I mean, could you explain how exactly it has to be done?
Trial.
Because with respect to the perishable crops,
Yes, like fruits and vegetable fish is also a perishable crop.
Yeah.
So hello.
But this has a shelf life of hardly 72 hours. So therefore, it really cannot be compared. Maximum 72 hours only you can keep. Otherwise, it has to go into deep
Exactly.
storage.
Oh, my answer to this thing is that suppose if like as this recent budget has highlighted like 500 fisher producer like farmer producer organizations should be developed. So the areas like we in this coastal area. So what is happening? Like now here we have a very good example. Falcon Marine is a very big private player who has engaged in different exporting fish, crabs, and prawn from Odisha. So they are a big private players. So what they are doing, they're under this public-private partnership with government of Odisha. So they have started opening different Reliance Fresh. They have opened the Falcon retail outlet, or this is Falcon Fresh. So through that, what happened? They are trying to procure from the fish farmers which have already registered with this Falcon, and they are also procuring from the other fish farmers those who want to sell their produce to this Falcon. So anyway, they are keeping that produce with their outlet. And secondly, whatever the required like fees or anything they required for export, that is going to the export house. So some of the private player has to come up with taking some kind of initiatives. So this could be done if any private player is there and who have a big business. Like in Odisha, it's a very successful intervention by this Falcon Marine. So that could be not only done by the government intervention. It has to be a support from both private and public.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Das, can I have a question, please?
Yes.
I am
Hello.
Dr. Patnaik. I was formerly the chairman. Are you listening me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's yes.
I am Dr. B.B. Patnaik. I was former chairman of Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for a very long presentation on FPO's role in the agricultural marketing. I have just two questions. At one bullet point, you mentioned about publish ENWR. And the second bullet point, you mentioned about publicize ENWRs. Now, if I understand, publish ENWRs, do you mean that the number of ENWRs or the ENWR details about
No, that is electronic. That is electronic negotiable warehouse receipt online. That is online.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yes.
What I am saying is,
Yes.
do you mean
Yes.
publishing the details of the
Trial.
ENWR on a portal, or publicizing the concept of ENWR you are mentioning?
Trial.
No, this is not publishing. This is what I'm just want to say, that those like farmers who want to store their produce in any warehouse. So this warehouse, whether it is a public, or it's a private sector, so they will be giving a warehouse receipt. So like the Star Agri, who has been working in the North India, and even also they're working in this particular star like Odisha. Hello,
Yes, yes.
hello.
In fact, in
Yes.
Odisha, there are only two. In fact, in Odisha, there are only two registered warehouses. I think the
Yes.
participants should know that electronic negotiable warehouse receipts can be issued only by a warehouse registered with the Warehouse
Um,
Development and Regulatory Authority.
exactly.
None
Yes, sir.
else,
Yes.
no one else can issue a negotiable warehouse. And
Exactly,
now,
sir.
from
Hmm.
last year 2019 November, all the warehouse receipt have to be only in electronic form and no physical warehouse receipt are allowed to be given.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
now the what I mean to say is perhaps what is necessity is that we must publicize the content or the concept of electronic warehouse receipt system among the
Yes.
farmers, traders, etc. And we
Yes.
should encourage establishment of more and more warehouses registered with the authority so that they can issue electronic negotiable warehouse.
Sure,
And
sure,
one
sir.
thing I would like also to inform the participants that the
Yes.
new concept of integration of electronic warehouse receipt to electronic national agriculture market. Now,
Okay.
ENWR and e-NAMs are integrated. In
Okay.
that, a farmer or a trader who stores his warehouse receipt in the warehouse, goods in the warehouse, can
Yes.
get a electronic receipt, and he need not physically take his goods to the mandi, but he can
Yes.
just pass on the data of the warehouse receipt ENWR, which will be traded on the e-NAM platform. So, in a situation like COVID, rather it is all the more helpful where a farmer need not move physically from a warehouse to the mandi.
Yes.
A registered warehouse can also be declared as a mandi. The Telangana and Andhra Pradesh has already shown about
Yes.
60 warehouses of Central Warehousing Corporation. They have already been notified as mandis.
Yes.
Farmers who store in those warehouses get electronic receipt, and those ENWR are traded on in-NAM platform. So this
Yes.
is the beauty of the ENWR and in-NAM integration. I just wanted to
Okay.
say that.
Okay. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
information.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Dr. Das, this is Ashok Mathur.
Yes, sir.
How are you? Good.
Yes, sir. I'm fine, sir.
Very nice and lucid presentation. Very good information you have given.
Yes.
Dr. Sarita, I have a information for you. I am in Bangalore these days, and I understand that the government of Karnataka has created a cell
Yes.
for the farmers producer organization during
Okay.
this lockdown period.
Okay.
And this cell, in collaboration with NABARD, will be
Yes.
providing, and they will ensure proper input supply to the farmer for the Kharif sowing and Jai sowing.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Then they will also facilitating output supply and market linkages.
Yes.
Then the cell will also, in addition to other services, help the FPOs in transporting and post-harvest services and
Yes.
doorstep delivery of the services.
Okay.
Sure.
So I think this model, I was discussing with the officials of NABARD and state government also. In certain areas, this model is very successful and it is really helping the FPOs during this challenging period, during this
Okay.
tough period.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So
That's a
can
good
any
innovation.
Yeah. So I am
Yes.
requesting Niam DG, I think he is also online, Dr.
Yes.
Chandrasekhara, that
Yes.
can such policy, all India policy, may be framed for times to come. Maybe this is a temporary phase. Maybe this will be over. We hope, we wish it will be over. So can such state government intervention in collaboration with institutions like NABARD be framed, and these guidelines are given at all India level to all the state governments?
Yes.
So,
Yes, that would be a
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, this is few roles I have indicated. There are more number of roles because the paucity of time.
Yes.
I have indicated few of them which are very important.
Sure,
Yes.
sir.
So-
Sure, sir. We will come up. Yeah, sir. We are coming up. We can come up with this particular model of Karnataka all over India also. And I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of our best model. If other states are going to adopt this model, then it will be definitely work out during
Exactly. So this can be an all India model, and state government NABARD has provided guidelines to all the regional offices, and
Yes.
they have indicated that specifically during this period, we should help these organizations, but we can only frame the guidelines. We can
Yes.
only help academically and by dispensing the knowledge to others. But state
Yes.
government has to create certain special cells to intervene at the grassroots level.
Sure.
I'm
Sure, sir.
also suggesting NABARD to instruct all the district development managers to help the FPOs in the district. So
Yes.
kindly, in collaboration with NIAM, let us also intervene in this process.
Yes,
Is it-
sure. That would be best. Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah.
That will help. Yeah. Thank
Yeah, all
you,
participants-
Dr. Santa. Nice to hear you. It's really
Yes,
nice.
sir. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Your participant now. Your participant now. It is requested that what your questions arising, you can directly contact Dr. Sarita. Ma'am, I request you to share the second last slide mentioning your contact details. So whatever
Yes.
the questions are arising further, they will contact you personally then.
Okay.
Yeah. Ma'am, the remarks coming up with the farmer producer organization given by you was up to the mark. We're going through the concluding remark, the capacity building, then you talk about the FEO startup, then what are the main reasons how the FEO can collaborate and work with the marketing functionaries, the stakeholders dealing with agriculture marketing, then how we can collaborate marketing information system in this crucial way also. Then you talk about the market linkage support, dealing with collective marketing, local markets, and as well as the model which dealing with farm to home model can play a very crucial role in this COVID-19 crisis also. Then you talked about the financial support, then supply chain, business approach, and infrastructure approach, how we can come up and develop in a very superficial way so that farmer producer organization, market functionaries and stakeholders can go hand in hand to overcome the situation like COVID-19 crisis. Then talking about the question answers also, the question which were dealing with SAFAC, Odisha, I think that model can also play a very crucial role as SAFAC has all the information. I think not only dealing with the directory, but if you go through the website of SAFAC, I request all the participants, you can get all the directory of farmer producer organization all over India also. They have the proper benchmark dealing with all the states, dealing with the commodity wise, and they have shared the contact number as well as the email ID of the concerned farmer producer organization. Then Dr. B.B. Patnaik, Warehousing Development Authority, also has shared very important views regarding the logistic support dealing with farmer producer organization. And at last, Karnataka that model which we're dealing with NABARD, we can go with academically as well as we can implement properly with the help of farmer producer organization. So,
Sure.
ma'am, very much thankful for this upcoming and encouraging talk regarding with farmer producer organization.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm thankful to all the participant organization and all the teachers who are directly and indirectly dealing with this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We come to the end of the.
So we come up to the end of this webinar. Yeah, I request all you to leave the room. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.